the market will be happy if they get 10 to 20 quality deals. So do you think we'll get that? The market will get 10 to 20 quality deals sometime this year?
Yeah, so you already have the UK, you already have China, you already have a few, Vietnam, you already have a few that are reasonable, that are somewhat important, but at the same time, you have to have something with the EU, you have to have something with Japan, you have to have something with South Korea, you have to have something with India. And frankly, the EU covers so many countries that that's pretty much the equivalent of doing, let's call it 10 to 15 deals. The issue that is outstanding is how do you approach some of the other, very large countries? We haven't heard anything about Mexico, which is probably a positive for Mexico, probably a positive for trade. But we do need some clarity on what is going on with USMCA. Do we still have that intact? Is that still enforceable? What are we doing there? These types of very high quality deals that are with allies, that are with friends, that to me is by far the most important, right? I really don't care about, deals with countries that we don't really trade with as a country. What I really want to see are quality deals with very large entities and large trading partners that kind of put that risk behind us. And as we begin to put these risks behind us, it looks really good.
Sam, I got to ask you here, right? What is this all about at the end of the day, right? We had Secretary Bessent saying, this is great, we're raising money, tariffs are doing what they were meant to do. I mean, is that what it's all about, raising revenues? Because the other couple of R's that I'm thinking about here, reshoring, right? Jobs and also manufacturing, and stopping the end run by China around third countries to get shipments into the U.S., that doesn't seem to be happening yet.
No, it does not. It's to a certain degree, you are beginning to see some countries come back to the U.S. What I would argue this whole narrative and tariff situation is about is it's rebalancing trade with China. And there's a lot of dancing around that. But when Vietnam, for example, in the U.S. struck a deal, one of the pieces in there was you're not going to be a secondary source of imports from China. That was, again, something that was put in the letter to South Korea and Japan. Not that that really matters for either one of them, but a lot of this is just about China.
Okay, a lot of it is just about China and should be about two things, right? Rebalancing trade and also reshoring manufacturing and jobs, neither of which seems to be happening specifically with China. In fact, the last agreement we had, the last framework, the good news is, okay, they're critical minerals. We can get access to them again. So yay there, although it's probably not for defense at all. I'd be surprised if it was. But the quid pro quo, which we agreed to, which the U.S. agreed to, was to continue exports of chip design software to China, as well as to resume exports of GE commercial aircraft engines to COMAC, their commercial aircraft maker. I mean, both of these are pretty key strategic verticals, right, which the U.S. seems to be giving away. So is this just transactional? Is it about redressing trade in the sense that, look, you got to buy more soybeans, maybe more LNG, but the rest of the stuff, commercial jet engines, which China is weak in, not just for commercial military as well, but also chip design software, and we're in a race with them, right, to come out on top in chips. Why are we doing this?
It's a great question, and frankly, I don't know. Completely straightforward on that front. No idea. If we were talking about what we should be doing, that is a different thing. But it's kind of what we are doing, and what we are doing is something that is very, very transactional. To your point earlier, you give us what we need, we'll give you what you need. It's very similar to the way that the U.S. and the USSR traded together. You'd kind of forgotten that Pepsi Cola was sold in the USSR, and what did the U.S. get? It got vodka. So there's always going to be kind of these side trade deals that are put in place. And, frankly, you send over some engines, we get the things we need, including magnets, which are incredibly important to a number of things. To me, that is very much more of a detente than it is an end to the trade war. It's only the beginning. The U.S. is very, very far behind when it comes to figuring out how to wage a trade war. It's not just about tariffs. It's also about actually having a domestic economy that is capable of taking it. And it's going to take a while to build out the capacity for rare earths. It's going to take a long time. It's going to take a long time to build out the capabilities that the U.S. had 25 to 40 years ago. So to me, and to your point, this is not something that makes a lot of sense from the longer term. It makes a lot of sense in the near term.